Hey everyone, it's the Angry Honey Badger, and welcome to League Talks Episode 2, where I answer all of your questions about League of Legends and such. If you have any questions for future shows, you can go ahead and email them to me at angryhoneybadger@hotmail.com, or you can send me a private message on YouTube and label it League Talks. So, diving right on into the first question, it's actually one of the top comments for the very first League Talks question. Typically, I will not look for the comments for my questions. You guys should send them to me. But this one got attention pretty quick, so I'll go ahead and address it. When and how did I get into playing League of Legends? Sent in by JT Siscool. I started playing League of Legends in late 2010. I believe it was November. So we would be coming up on about the 2-year anniversary shortly. Started playing League back then. A bunch of my friends were playing it before then, and we all worked at GameStop, and that was what they had started playing. I was like, whatever, I guess I'll play it. Then they told me it was free, and I was like, oh, okay, then I guess I really will play it. I wasn't much of a PC gamer at the time at all. Mostly a console gamer, mostly just played Xbox 360 games. I was pretty much an achievement whore, actually, for that. I think I have about 90,000 gamer score, and I haven't really touched my Xbox kinda since I started playing League for the most part. I mean, I still play it, but not too often. So I started playing the game with them. They were considerably higher level than me. I think all of them were 25 or 30 when I started playing. At first, I actually did not enjoy League that much at all, mostly because since I was playing with them, I was just getting completely trashed and put into the dirt. And that was kind of annoying and wasn't as fun. And so I kind of gave up on League for not too long, because they kept badgering me to play it more. And so, you know, reluctantly, I kind of decided, oh, whatever, I'll play it more. I was warned it had a pretty long learning curve. It does take a while to learn the game completely and what all the champions do and how to play strategically and smart. So I stuck with it and played it longer, and then I started enjoying it, and I started getting better after they recommended a few champions to me. Like I said, I used to main Mord most of the time, and he was really easy to play for me, and he's overpowered, so that made it even better, and I had tons of fun playing him, played a lot of Mundo, played a lot of Ashe back in the day, so that's how I kind of got started playing League back then. Since then, obviously, I keep playing it. It is definitely my main game that I play, which is why I have created the channel for League of Legends and all of that goodness. Just to go off this question a little bit longer, this might answer a future League Talk question, so I'll go ahead and address it now since it has to do with why I started playing League. I'll address why I made this channel. I made this channel almost 1 year ago. It's August now, and I think my first video is uploaded in August of last year, so we're coming up on the 1 year of this channel. And I kind of started doing this not because I thought I was absolutely amazing at the game or anything. I think I'm decent. I don't try to go out and praise myself with this channel and think I'm the world's greatest. I think I'm somewhat strategic with my builds, and I thought it would just be nice to go out and try to help people who wanted help anywhere they could get it for League. When I started playing the game, there weren't a million sites dedicated to builds. A lot more have come up since then, or if there were a bunch up, then I never saw them, but that was way back. I mean, there's been a million champions released since I started playing it feels like. And so the game's really grown and developed. And I started playing League when Han was still a very popular game in comparison to League, or it seemed like everybody was talking about both. Nowadays, it's kind of a very one-sided battle, and League of Legends is definitely kind of the definite game to play if you're going to choose a MOBA. So all that kind of happened, and the other reasons I had decided to make this channel was when I finally found people on YouTube making builds for League of Legends and other commentators. I was kind of annoyed with the way a few of them did their stuff. Not like their quality was horrible, but I found that I felt like they were annoying. Now, not all of them are. There's still plenty of them I'm actually subscribed to, a few of them at least. And I still watch other ones even if I'm not subscribed to them, just to see what they're doing, because it's smart to just see what they're doing. And I do stuff similar. I guess a lot of us kind of borrow ideas to make videos from. And that's just kind of some of the stuff that I have learned from. But one of them in particular I'm not going to name, because I don't want to. I'm not saying they're bad, but they're no better than me. At least I've seen their ELO, but or ELO, sorry. But you know, they just seemed annoying, and I couldn't stand that. And I might be annoying to some people, and in that case, I apologize. I don't try to be annoying. I try to be genuine with how I play the game and how I do stuff, and I'm just trying to make videos to help people. That's really what my goal was for this channel. If it grew, it grew. If it didn't, it didn't. But I wanted to give it a shot. It seems to be going all right. So that's kind of how I got into playing League and how I kind of started this channel. Our next question for today's talk comes from a kid named Jonathan. He emailed me with this question. Is Elo luck or skill? And which champion is the easiest to carry a team? This is a very interesting question. Is it luck or skill? I'm inclined to actually kind of say it's some of both. Mostly because I've kind of played, I haven't played as many ranked games actually as a lot of other people, but I've been talking to people who play plenty. I've played against many kids who've played lots of ranked games. I've played with them in normals. I've played with them in ranked. And I am going to address this question in the simplest way that I can. Is it luck or is it skill? It's some of both, to be completely honest. At first, we all start at 1200. In case you do not know that, if you're not level 30, how the ranked system works in a ranked game. You start at level, well, not level, but you start with a score of 1200. That's where the system starts, and you gain points and lose points depending on victories or losses. You get points for when you win, you lose points for when you lose. That's how everybody moves around. It's very similar to a true skill ranking system that is implemented in plenty of other video games. But to address it as luck or skill, I think early on it is some of both. It obviously is going to take skill all the time to move up, but it also sometimes will be luck as well. You can do bad, and I've done mediocre in ranked games where I jungled and they didn't even need me to gank. They were just murdering in lane, and as a jungler, I think one game I was Trundle, I went 0-0 in like 10. I got 10 assists for doing hardly any work. My team pushed them into the dirt in lane because I had good people on my team, which was very nice to have. And we just came out on top. Obviously, that game forced them to early surrender. I've had other games where I was the person on bottom. I have a game I've recorded. I've never put it up just because I don't know how to post it. Maybe it'll be in the background of a video sometime, where I'm Caitlyn, and within 10 minutes of the game, I have an Infinity Edge because I murdered their bottom lane, got way too ahead, and they surrendered. So maybe it was because they were horrible. Maybe it was because I played really well, which I thought I did that game. And there's some skill in that as well. The thing that I will say is luck or unlucky is who you get on your team, especially for solo queue. Solo queue is one of the biggest gambles in the whole game. This is the one reason why I don't play as much ranked as I'd like to. I cannot rely on people I don't know. It is hard for me to get past that, especially since I've had a few bad cases with people that I've played. I currently have about 50 wins in ranked solo queue and 32 losses or something. I'm in the 1400s at the moment, and I keep moving up, which is good. I was 14 something, or I was almost 1500, and then I had 5 levers in a row on my team, all of them from top lane. Apparently the top lane people love to complain a lot, but they were getting put in the dirt. They started yelling at our team, or our jungler started yelling at them. Everybody's like, I didn't get ganks, you didn't gank, blah, 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 blah. Everybody gets angry, and they left, and I had that happen 5 times in a row. And that kind of demolished me this season, at least, for wanting to play ranked games. So that took me from almost 1500, about 15, I think it's 1490, and that took me back down all the way to 1210 at the time. 5 games did that to me because it was early enough in my ranked play. And I didn't really touch ranked after that for a while because that's annoying, and frankly, if people are going to bring me down, I don't want to play it. And solo queue is kind of that area. Now, I have a ranked 3s team that I play with, and we're about 1500. We've jumped around a little bit. We have way more wins than losses. We've lost a few unfortunate games, but 3v3s is a completely game mode. You got to play that completely different than 5v5s, which I typically play. We just made the 3v3 team for fun. But if you really, really are interested in doing ranked, 5v5 with a group of dedicated friends is the best way to do it. Just make sure that you all can get along. But since then, since I fell way back after all those levers, I've continuously moved up with a few people, which has been nice. I've been talking to kids who are below 1200 and really want me to play with them, but I don't want to play against kids that aren't quite up to par. For me, it gets annoying, especially when they think they are good and they are a little bit blind to the part where they're playing wrong. So I've seen that with a couple people. And what else do we have? We have kids I've played with who are, I don't want to say getting carried up to higher elos, but I've seen that a little bit too. But then once they get up there, they do fall back down. So it does, in fact, take skill in my opinion, but there is some luck in there. I will not say there is no luck. You definitely get lucky if you get good teams. I've had kids lately, even in the 1400s, they come in and their last pick, and as last pick, you should never call a spot like mid or top or anything. You're kind of the fill-in person because you're the lowest person with the lowest elo at the time. That's how it goes. Person at the top of your team has the highest. Person at the lowest has the lowest. You're all in a row for how you pick. Personally, in a perfect world, what I like is when I jump into queue with solo queue, and we all jump into the game or into champion select, and no one says a position. That shows that the team's mature enough to play all of the positions. I never jump into a game and say, I want mid, I want top, I want jungle. I think I'm strongest mid or AD carry, but I can play all the positions. I don't like playing support at all, but it's not a hard position, and anybody really can play it effectively. Just don't creep score kill, and just get gold per 5 items, and support. So that's one thing that's really nice. Find a team that doesn't want a specific role if you're going into solo queue. If everybody's screaming at the top of their lungs for a specific area, or they're going to feed and leave. I mean, obviously that's where all the tiring parts of ranked play come into. So in that case, there's some luck and there is some skill. One other thing I will say about it is, obviously if you're below 1200, you are either at the normal amount. If you go a little below it, don't think that you're horrible. That's where most league players actually are. The average is at 1200 or probably a little below that. Now, a lot of people come out with lists on the internet and they're like, well, what's good to have? Like, what number do you want? From my opinion, and from what I've talked to with people above 2,000 and people below, and people I've played with who are above 2,000, people who are in the 1800s, 1400s, 1200s, the less than 1,000s. For everyone I've played with, what I would believe is if you are about 1,000 to about 1,300, you're about average for a player in league. If you're below that number, improvement could happen. But between at least 1,200 and between, I think what we're guessing about 1,550 and 600, which that's already gold up there. That is actually the range where I think, well, not that I think, but most of the people fall in when you're above 1,200. They're all in between there. And that is the area where I think you could honestly have a 1,500 fight a 1,200, and it probably wouldn't be that bad of a game. Like, it's not going to be a massacre between, such people. So once you start to get above there, it starts to get a little bit more gritty and picky. And when you start getting up past 1,600, it really is going to come down to skill versus luck up above there. That's what I found out with kids that I watch. That's what I found out with multiple kids that I am friends with that are above 2,000. And all of that goodness. It's either sink or soar at 16-ish hundred. So, but once again, you gotta get there to see if you can fly or not. So, if I keep getting levers, which I've had 2 more last week, so I keep falling back a little bit and keep winning my way back up a little bit. I hate levers. It's the most annoying thing in this whole game. We'll see if I ever get to that point, but most of the time, ranked for me is too frustrating with kids I cannot rely on, and because to make build videos, I really can't do them in ranked games. I think a few of them have been, but I typically can't get any champion I'm concentrating on in a ranked game, especially if you got to fill a position on your team to make your ranked team the best it can be for that game. Now, who is the easiest to carry a team? This is a really odd, I don't want to say odd question, but it's a little bit interesting. Because if you think about it, what role are they carrying with? Are they carrying the team overall? Because I've heard arguments that Warwick is the best all-rounder to carry a team. I don't know if I completely agree with that. I can see how it does work. I've seen good Warwicks that are good gankers. They get a little fed, and they do face roll teams. He can do it. Now, if we're talking AD carries, so far I haven't actually lost a game ever in ranked with Varus. So maybe I should just play Varus bottom and just always play him and do fine. I also think that Graves is really good for being the AD carry to carry a team. Obviously, it can be done with other champions, but I think those are 2 of your stronger AD carries. As for AP mids, oh god, everybody bans Morgana and Kassadin right now. And I understand it, and at the same time, I don't. Kassadin actually, I think, has been nerfed, but everybody still bans him. And even other games when he doesn't get banned, nobody on the other team picks him, because I think a lot of kids don't actually know how to play him. So that's an interesting ban, and Morgana, I do believe a good Morgana can face roll teams as well. She is a great carry. I see lots of Ahris. If you're great Ahri, she's obviously going to be awesome as well. There's plenty of other good choices. I've seen some great Xeraths. He's got the range. Also, Brand is one of the other crazy strong ones to carry a team, and so can Annie. But those would kind of be your mids. As for tops, I'm always annoyed by enemy team Rivens. I think she's a little bit too powerful, and she could use a nerf. It was Rumble and a little bit higher elo rank play. He was a very strong top. I mean, you can really do it with anybody. It just depends on who do you think's gonna carry the team. But that's a little bit of a broad question. And once again, it comes down to how you play that champion and kind of who's on the other team. But you can kind of take that question's answer for what it's worth. But other than that, guys, I think that's going to round up this episode of League Talks. If you had a question you wanted to ask for one of the next League Talks, you can send it to me at angryhoneybadger@hotmail.com or send me a message here on YouTube and title the subject as League Talks. Don't forget, if you have sent me in other League Talks, I will get to them. I got plenty from the very first episode, which is great, guys. I can keep making these videos. I like making these, and I like your guys' questions. I think they're pretty good. So go ahead and send me questions if you have them. But other than that, guys, I will just see you in the next video.